So here's the thing, we've all been there, right? Those moments in an actor's journey when the road ahead seems like an uphill battle and self-doubt tries to knock us down. But let me tell you, my bold one, you are not alone on this roller coaster ride. Every actor, every artist has faced those valleys of uncertainty. And here's the kicker, those valleys are not where your dreams go to die. They're where they come to life. The key to not getting buried under a mountain of despair is understanding which phase you're in and what you need to do to get to the next phase. So welcome to the no-nonsense guide to surviving and thriving as an actor. There are 5 phases in every actor's career, but since the first phase has everything to do with training and nothing to do with the business of acting, we're going to concentrate on phases 2 through 5. And if I'm going to be honest here, really phases 2, 3, and 4. The emerging phase, the tenacious phase, the working actor phase, and the star phase. Now you know why we're only concentrating on phases 2 through 4. The last one is obviously self-explanatory, but I'll break down all of the different phases and equip you with the tools you need to conquer the unique challenges they bring, so you can move on and up. Now, I'm not here to sugarcoat things or sell you a dream. I'm here to provide you with real talk, practical advice, and a healthy dose of tough love. Because let's face it, the acting world isn't all red carpets and applause. It's really hard work, perseverance, and finding your own unique path. It's crucial to understand that the life of a creative is nonlinear. Unlike in the corporate world, where there's often this clear upward trajectory, our journey as actors is characterized by 10 steps forward, 20 steps back, 7 to the right, and 6 to the left before we find ourselves 1 step further than we were before. I mean, we may even find ourselves skipping phases, jumping ahead, or falling back to where we began. So instead of accumulating promotions, we're gathering valuable experience along the way. As we navigate the highs and lows of our career, we often encounter the same challenges repeatedly, such as having to find new representation, having to face rejection, having to deal with disappointment. We're going to face all of these challenges throughout our entire career. It can sometimes feel like we're at the mercy of larger forces, which makes us feel disempowered. And that's exactly why having a reliable system in place becomes paramount. A system that not only helps us identify where we currently stand in our journey, but also provides step-by-step actionable plans that enable us to reclaim our power. With a well-defined framework, we can regain control over our career and confidently navigate our industry's obstacles. So are you ready? Then let's jump right into phase 1, the emerging actor phase. I will definitely go into the other phases, the problems that you're going to face when you're in them, and some solutions that will help you get on out of them. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video. You might even want to grab a paper and pencil or save this video to refer back to later on. Okay, so phase 1, the emerging act. This is characterized by a lot of excitement. You finally decided to go after your dreams, you've gotten the training you need, and now you are looking for someone to join your team. You need an agent. You've poured your heart into creating engaging marketing materials, your headshots and your show reel is on point, you've invested your time in researching the right agents, and finally sent out your emails, only to be met with crickets. Nothing. Zero. Zip. The inbox remains distressingly empty, and the phone sits unnervingly silent. It's disheartening, right? It feels like nobody cares. You may even begin to doubt yourself, lose confidence, and retreat. I know. It's tough. I have been there. This phase comes with its own unique set of pain points. For starters, the silence can trigger a tidal wave of self-doubt. You've put yourself out there, and the lack of response may leave you questioning your talent, your potential, and even your decision to pursue acting. And then there's that feeling of isolation. Because without any feedback or interaction, it seems as though you're navigating this vast industry all on your lonesome. This isolation, coupled with career uncertainty, creates a foggy path ahead. Without any guidance or constructive feedback, it's like being in a maze without a map. I cannot tell you how I wish I had had someone to take my hand at this point and tell me what I needed to do. That would have saved me so much time and made my life so much easier. And please, let's not forget the financial stress. I mean, you've invested in your career, your headshots, your acting classes, and creating a show reel. This stuff is expensive, but the return hasn't come through yet. This, especially when you're balancing another job to make ends meet, can be a heavy weight to bear. Lastly, there's a lack of direction. Without an agent or any prospects, it can be tough to figure out what the next steps are. How are you supposed to proceed? Where do you focus your energy? It's this lack of direction that can chip away at your motivation. At this point, all you really want to know is how to get started. So if you do figure things out, then you enter what I like to call the tenacious actor phase. Because if you're going to make it to phase 3, you're going to have to be very determined. So you've crossed that first hurdle and you found yourself an agent, which in itself is definitely an achievement. But that's when you hit a wall. No more roles, no auditions, nothing. It's like being in a car that's run out of gas. I mean, you have the vehicle, but you are going nowhere. And if this has happened to you, then you may have already lost your inspiration and might be well on your way to becoming bitter. However, it's crucial to either push through this crucial phase or risk giving up forever. To overcome it, you'll need to continue working on your portfolio. Sometimes working for free, sometimes getting paid, continue training, develop industry relationships. Most importantly, stay proactive by auditioning and building contacts with other industry people. It's an incredibly frustrating phase, and you may find yourself stuck in a mental loop thinking it's not fair, or, when will I catch my break? This is the phase where most actors find themselves, stuck in this sort of limbo of anticipation and stagnation. In fact, to be honest, most actors never really advance beyond this phase. And some, thinking that their lack of success means they're in the wrong business, will give up. But if they do begin to get consistent work, then they'll find themselves in phase 3, the working actor phase. At this point, you've tasted some success. You've had some roles. You've been on set. You've seen your names in the credits. There's been momentum, and it's been exhilarating. After the initial hype subsides, things start to slow down. Way down. Months can pass and you persist in your training, you're researching, and maybe even creating your own work. You've got to find some way to keep momentum going. Eventually, you book another job and hope returns. This is the cyclical nature and highs and lows, employment and unemployment, that is the actor's life. And this is the phase that I live in. When you hit a plateau, it can feel like a desert, vast and unchanging, and it brings its own unique set of challenges. First up is the fear of regression. After having tasted success, the quiet can feel like you're moving backwards instead of forward. It's as if your progress is being undone, and that can create a lot of anxiety. Next, there's the uncertainty of the future. You're asking what's next, but there's no clear answer. The unpredictability of this industry can seem even more pronounced in this phase. This uncertainty can lead to restlessness. You want to act, you want to work, but the opportunities aren't coming. And that restlessness can turn into frustration and dissatisfaction. You may also begin to question your worth, start to have imposter syndrome. Comparisons might start creeping in, leading to self-doubt. Even though you've made strides in your career, the current standstill can make you feel as though you're stuck, not growing or evolving. But if you're going to get through it, you need to adopt the right mindset, and you need to be proactive about your career instead of relying on your agent. And finally, we have the star phase, which only 2% of actors will ever reach, which is encouraging, right? So, of course, some stars burn brighter than others, and some are only known in their own little constellations, while others are known galaxy-wide. Star is a relative term, but the main thing that they all have in common is that they pull weight. They get films funded simply by being attached, and they usually have their pick of a plethora of projects to work on. Is everything sunshine and roses? Probably not. 98% of us will never know, but that doesn't mean we still can't have meaningful careers and earn a decent living. So as I mentioned earlier, our career is nonlinear, which means we might weave back and forth between phases. And of course, even within each phase, there are also levels. Knowing where you are in your journey and understanding your current phase is just the first step. The crucial question is, what can you do to progress from where you are? As some of you may or may not know, I returned to acting after taking a 16-year hiatus to raise my son. So I can tell you what I did to get from ground zero to becoming a working actor again. Obviously, I can't tell you everything I learned over the last 9 years, but I can give you some actionable strategies and practical steps that you can implement right now to start elevating yourself to the next phase. So if you're ready, let's dive in. So let's circle back to the emerging actor phase. When you're at this point, you should be saying yes a whole lot more than you're saying no. Because at this stage of your career, you need to gain experience and get confident in your skills as an actor. And I'm not just talking about talent here. You also need to get skilled in the technical aspects like auditioning, self-taping, callbacks, virtual callbacks. That's a whole new skill set on its own. Hitting your mark, knowing where your light is, and being able to adjust your performance based on the camera's framing. Commercials, student films, low-budget films, hey, even no-budget films are going to help you get to the next level. And when I was at this stage, I used to say, I'll do anything that I don't mind my son seeing eventually. It doesn't matter why you're at this stage in your career. It could be you just got out of drama school, or it could be you're returning to the business after taking a break like I did. You should approach this phase with a beginner's mindset. Industries change, and the film industry is no exception. Even styles of acting change. So if you've been gone for more than 5 years, you need to totally reassess. So as I said, I took a 16-year hiatus to raise my son, and I was 47 years old when I returned to acting. 47 years old, living in a foreign country, didn't speak the language of the land, didn't have any industry contacts, and even more, I had no current showreel material. So I was literally starting from ground zero and was no better off, and maybe even worse off in some ways because I was older, than people who are just fresh out of drama school. I had nothing to show for all my years of experience as an actor, because if it ain't up to date, it ain't worth showing. People in the industry need to see representations of who you are today, not who you were some distant time in the past. But that doesn't mean you have everything going against you. Don't underestimate the power of your life experience and the depth you can bring to your performances. If you embrace the changes you went through and use them to your advantage, your authenticity is going to shine through, and that can only help you. At this stage, it's not just about building your showreel. It's also about understanding where you fit into the industry. When I left the industry, I was a young woman. And when I came back, I was almost 50. I needed to figure out what my type was and what sorts of roles I could play. I had to test the waters and discover what my unique offering was. I was certainly confused until a friend pointed out that I was now a character actress. I can't tell you how freeing that was. When I was younger, I thought I had to look a certain way, dress a certain way, act a certain way, have a certain weight in order to be castable. And while, I'm not gonna lie, being told I was a character actress was kind of a blow to my ego. But once I got used to the idea, I began to embrace it. So if you're in the emerging actor phase, experiment. Try out different roles, different genres. Take lots of workshops. Work with a coach. Discovering how you want to be seen and the kinds of roles that you want to play are just as important as learning how the industry sees you. All this comes down to branding. And the earlier you know your brand, the better. Find out where you fit in. Knowing your brand is the first step to taking charge of your career. This video is an extensive deep dive into what it means for actors to be their own brand, and I will link to it in the show notes. So, also at this stage, you'll want to build your community. Connect with other actors who are as ambitious and driven as you are. Did you know that you are a reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with? So make sure that the people you're spending time with are putting their energy into things that are driving their career forward as opposed to holding them back. The other great thing about having a community of actors is you have a group of people who understand what you're going through, whom you can share your experiences with, and you can learn from each other. You can also have a group of actors that's a great support group for you. They'll hold you to account. This is all crucial in this industry. Remember, you are laying the foundation for your career in this phase. It's all about exploration and growth, making connections, and honing your craft. You need to discover who you are as an actor now and start to carve out your own unique path in this industry. And most importantly, you need to set yourself up with a system that will help you achieve your goals. You have to match your actions to your aspirations so that you know what to do when times are tough. Now, how long this phase lasts? That's up to you. You have to be proactive. There are things you can do at each stage of your career. The only thing you can't do is wait for someone else to create a career for you. It's your career, and what it looks like is up to you. Just remember that with every yes, you are one step closer to transitioning into the next phase of your career. So keep going. Persistence will pay off. Now, moving on. As a natural part of the evolution, you'll progress from saying yes to every opportunity to becoming more, let's say, selective as you begin to accumulate more paid work and you find yourself with less time for the unpaid stuff. You've entered the tenacious actor phase, and you should also be starting to gain a clearer understanding of where you fit into the market and how you're typically cast. If you still find yourself unsure about the rhyme or reason behind the types of roles you're getting, it's really time to sit down and do a little self-assessment. Take a moment to reflect on your past experiences and the feedback you've received and the patterns you've noticed. Understanding your strengths, your unique qualities, and the roles that align with your brand will help you make more strategic choices moving forward. In fact, the ability to assess your progress at any given stage of your career is a really valuable skill that you will need no matter where you are. So the sooner you get used to doing these little check-ins, the better equipped you'll be to navigate your career as you move forward. At this phase of your career, the most common complaint is that the roles you're getting don't align with where you want to be, either the amount of roles or the types of roles. So if you've gotten a lot of co-stars and you want guest stars and you think you deserve guest stars, well, okay, that's a misalignment. So if that's the case with you, it's especially important to make sure that your brand is on point so that the powers that be can see you as you want to be seen. Now, no matter which phase of your career that you're in, there are always 5 pillars that form the foundation of a thriving acting career. And these are marketing, mindset, branding, networking, and community. And going along with that is the ability to assess each of these pillars and where you are, so their strengths and their weaknesses, so that you know, oh, okay, I need to work on my networking at this point in my career. My branding is out of line with the kind of roles that I would like to be getting, so I need to work on my branding, etc., etc. These pillars are there to provide guidance and support as you face your challenges along the way. So when you encounter obstacles or you feel unsure about the next steps, you can refer back to these fundamental aspects and reassess to gain clarity and direction, and most importantly, a plan of action. Another super common mistake that actors make in these phases of their career is thinking that once they get an agent, they're all set. They believe their agent will take care of all the legwork, the networking, and making all the industry connections on their behalf. And okay, while there are a few agents who will truly go above and beyond in this regard, believe me, they are a rarity. So it's essential to recognize that you are still an active participant in your career. Okay, your agent is an important partner, but you are the one that's got to continue to invest your energy into researching opportunities, sending out emails, networking, and interviewing. You can't just sit back and hope that your agent will be as invested in your career as you are. It doesn't even make sense. Most agents have a roster of clients, which can include dozens of talented actors. So with the sheer number of clients they represent, it's a simple matter of mathematics. And I'm not so great at math, but I can do this math. Their attention, their interest, and their time is going to be divided. And let's not forget, Agents are people. They have their own limitations, priorities, and yes, even biases. Because, of course, the reality is that agents probably have their favorites. They're going to naturally prioritize clients who are bringing in revenue to their business because those are the actors that are paying the bills. Now, it's not a reflection on your talent or your potential. It's just a natural consequence of the industry dynamics. Of course, your agent is your ally and your advocate, but you have to understand that they have multiple responsibilities and they can't solely focus on your individual career. The only person who can afford to give your career 100% of their attention is you. By taking control of your own destiny, you can take the necessary steps to propel your career forward. You can invest time in marketing yourself effectively, building relationships, attending industry functions, and seeking out new opportunities. I'm not saying you should be at odds with your agent. I'm just saying you need to be an active participant. No, more than a participant. You need to be an active driver in your own success. By maintaining a proactive mindset and taking charge of your career, you ensure that your goals and aspirations remain front and center. Your dedication and commitment to your craft will shine through. And ultimately, it's your passion and drive that are going to open doors and create opportunities. If you want to know why some actors consistently book jobs, then check out this video. By the way, if you're finding any of this information useful, please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button. I definitely put a lot of hard work into these videos. As you can tell, I think I'm losing my voice on this one. And it really would mean the world to me and help me out a lot if you would support the channel by liking, subscribing, and even recommending it to another actor who you think that these videos could help. Okay. Moving on. So once your paying jobs number enough to actually pay your rent, you've moved into the working actor phase. Here you're going to be looking to take everything to the next level. You are going to aspire to get bigger and better roles in notable productions. It might even be the time when you consider finding a new agent or manager or adding a PR agent to your team. By the time you reach this phase, you have gained a deep understanding and confidence about the kind of roles that you can excel in. You've identified your archetype and your most notable essences, and you have a clear understanding of the types of roles that you can play based on these two things. You've also started the work of rebranding yourself to align with your career aspirations. In every phase, it's crucial to ensure that all of your marketing materials accurately reflect where you want to go, not where you currently are. But in this phase, understanding that crucial distinction can mean the difference between consistently booking guest stars and consistently booking co-stars. And you get a lot more days with guest stars, which means a lot more money. Also in this phase, networking should become even more strategic and intentional. You've learned the art of curating new relationships, and you are spending time nurturing old relationships. Your network comprises industry professionals who align with your career goals and can open doors to exciting opportunities. Even your social media presence should be finely tuned to reflect where you want to go in your career. But despite your progress, it's important to note that challenges and moments of self-doubt still might arise. As the saying goes, new level, new devil. But if you've reached this stage in your career, it's a testament to your resilience and your willingness to do the work when you're faced with rejection and the fear of failure. So just as in the other phases, there are many levels to the working actor phase. I don't know about you, but at this stage of my life, I just want to be recognized and appreciated by my peers so that I always have my choice of projects to work on. At least that's how I feel right now. But success is like a carrot dangling just out of reach, right? With every step you take towards it, your idea of what it is changes. So it always remains just out of reach. If somebody had told me 9 years ago that I was going to be where I am now, I would have been thrilled. But now that I'm here, I want more. I don't dream of fame, but I wouldn't run away from it either. Do I want to get to the star phase? I don't know. It doesn't keep me up at night, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities either. I want to be a consistently working actor, and that's why I have a system in place so that I can turn to it when I'm unhappy with any part of my career, so that I always have a plan of action to turn to. And if you're interested in learning how you can also put a system in place so that you know what to do when you're faced with things like a lack of auditions, or being sent the wrong types of auditions, or a million things can go wrong, right? Then there's a link in my description that says Let's Chat. And if you click on it, you will get a direct link to my calendar, and we can make an appointment to talk and do just that and see if you're a good fit for my program. Until then, you stay your bold and beautiful self. See you next time. Bye-bye.